2026 is bringing a wave of games built around careful planning and smart decision-making. These titles reward long-term thinking, resource control, and tactical mastery rather than fast reflexes. Here are the most exciting upcoming strategy games. Menace is a turn-based tactical role-playing game set in a distant science fiction conflict. It puts the player in command of a military strike force dealing with a growing alien threat across hostile territories. The game aims for a grounded, methodical pace with tense battles and a serious, war-driven atmosphere. Strategic planning and battlefield decisions define how each operation unfolds.
Eyes on! Oscar! Fire mission is underway. Bring in more!
We rule by divine right.
Total War Medieval 3 is built around large-scale historical warfare and long-term campaign management. It uses a turn-based structure for managing factions, territories, and diplomacy, paired with real-time battles that depict medieval armies clashing on detailed battlefields. The game aims for a measured, historically grounded style, with an emphasis on leadership, planning, and the rise and fall of kingdoms over time.
The realm is ours, only when our enemies lie dead.
Patience and time will beget our gain.
We are stability,
Dignity.
And authority.
We bear the weight of pain.
end of defeat.
Greatness shall ever define us.
And we shall never
Be forgotten.
Forgotten.
So,
How will you
Shape.
Your realm.
How will you
Make history.
Make.
history.
make history?
My dear children, I write this letter to you as testimony of my undying love.
Solasta 2 is a turn-based tactical RPG set in a mana-charged fantasy land under growing threat. It'll place players in control of a small party whose progress is shaped by structured encounters and tabletop-inspired rules. The game aims for a deliberate pace, with careful planning and uncertainty playing a constant role. Its atmosphere is methodical, built around strategy, choice, and chance rather than spectacle.
Lies. You should have saved her.
She deserves the peace of death.
What an interesting family you must have.
Is that fear I sense? Good.
Stay in the light. Never give in to darkness. Your loving mother, Marhin.
I know you will make it right. Blood!
Norse Oath of Blood is a turn-based tactics game set in Viking Age Norway, built around strategic battles and settlement leadership. It tells a story of conflict and survival, where careful planning on the battlefield connects with long-term decisions made off it. The game has a measured, serious mood, combining tactical combat with the pressure of guiding a growing community through hardship and revenge.
If these people are willing to sweat for spill blood, if they see you as the strongest oak at the heart of the wood, then you must accept the responsibility of being a leader.
The gods gather their war host for Ragnarok.
Your people will look to you to lead them through times of bountiful harvest and through famine. You must be the wise arbiter of their disputes. You must forge blades and build ships. You must lead your warriors in battle. Stand like a rock in the blood fray with them. Reward them with meat and mead and silver.
This is what I have been waiting for.
Protect their women and their young ones. And protect your own honor, too.
Traitor!
Will you do all this, Gunnar, son of Grim? Will you swear it here, before these people and before the gods?
I swear it. I swear.
Star Wars Zero Company is a single-player turn-based tactics game set during the later days of the Clone Wars. It is built around commanding a small squad through structured combat scenarios, with a grounded and serious style tied closely to the Star Wars setting. The game aims for a focused, tactical pace, supported by a darker military atmosphere and a narrative backdrop rooted in conflict and uncertainty.
All-out assaults. Cities bombed to rubble. Truth is, there's a war you don't see. The one fought in the shadows. The war beneath the war. A war that's won with the right strategy. Surveillance, ciphers, good old-fashioned sabotage. These aren't the heroes they tell stories about. They're professionals. Setting aside their differences to take on the impossible. But that's the job, and they get it done.
Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era revolves around commanding heroes, building armies, and contesting territory across large strategic maps. Battles unfold in a measured, tactical style, supported by magic, creatures, and faction-based forces. The game aims for a classic strategic pace, with a strong emphasis on planning and control rather than speed. Warhammer 40,000. Dark Heresy is a party-based role-playing game built around investigation and authority within the Imperium. You play as an Inquisition acolyte dealing with heresy, secrets, and moral pressure while leading a small group through dangerous situations. The game aims for a grim, serious atmosphere where power, duty, and uncertainty shape how events unfold.
By enemies from within. matter the cost. We must persevere. Every blade must be turned to our defense. Every soul, every dark secret. For if we fail, all will fall into the damnation of eternal night.
Warhammer 40,000. Mechanicus 2 is set within the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It continues the conflict between rival forces locked in a prolonged technological war. The game is designed around methodical, tactical battles paired with broader strategic decision-making. Its atmosphere draws from the grim and mechanical themes of the setting while maintaining a deliberate, measured pace.
With vermin that proliferated in our absence. Now, we awaken to retake what is ours. Wretched amalgamations of meat and metal, shackled to ignorance by your faith. Do you truly believe you can stop us? We, who have shattered our very gods and enslaved them to our will. The stars were young when our empire was ascendant, and when the last of them die, we alone will remain. For we are immortal.
The hour has come. Alongside our allies, you will strike at the heart of tyranny.
Sudden Strike 5 is built around large-scale World War II battles. It places the player in command roles where positioning, timing, and battlefield awareness matter more than speed. The game aims for a grounded military atmosphere, with deliberate pacing and a focus on tactical decision-making across historic conflict zones.
Heavily armed and ruthless. But we do not stand unprepared. From the tireless effort comes an overwhelming force of trained fighters, weapons, and munitions. My unwavering trust in your courage, your discipline, and your skill stands firm. And so will you. We will accept nothing less than complete victory. Stand firm and move forward upon your great and noble mission.
The galaxy lies shattered.
Warhammer 40,000 Dawn of War 4 centered on large-scale conflicts in the Warhammer 40,000 universe. It aims to deliver traditional RTS play built around commanding armies, managing battles, and directing forces across intense war zones. The game carries a grounded, combat-driven style that reflects the brutality and scale of the setting while staying rooted in classic strategic design.
Hawk warlords infest the surface. Mechanicus priests pursue knowledge long forgotten. Ancient horrors awaken, claiming dominion over all. And something still stirs below. Buried deep, lost for eons, and never meant to return. We stand defiant. Cronus must not fall. And we are not alone. is certain. War has returned to Kronos.
Game of Thrones' War for Westeros revolves around large-scale conflict across the Seven Kingdoms. Players take control of major factions and armies, managing battles and territory through direct command and strategic planning. The game supports both solo play and competitive matches, with a grounded, serious atmosphere shaped by political rivalry and constant pressure for control.
The game you know.
This is your legacy. You decide who wins and who dies.
Copa City is a strategy and simulation game about organizing major football match days at a city scale. You take responsibility for preparing urban spaces, coordinating services, and keeping everything running smoothly as crowds arrive. The game approaches football from the perspective of logistics, planning, and coordination rather than on-pitch action. Its structure supports a calm, methodical style of play built around preparation and management.
Door knockers, drum, drum, drum. Fans chant, glory, no stories, no alibis used. Bleachers creak, seas deep, every boo is a bruise. Mischance, finance, reputation's a dues. One slip, switch, flip, stack up mics, mute the news. Play for late, makes broke plates, empty vents. For the kid with the ball, small wallet, big intent. Just grind on the pitch, win or break, we persist. Copa City, living scars prove the game's legit. Scars prove the game's legit.
Falling Frontier is a science fiction game built around large-scale conflict in space. It revolves around commanding fleets across a distant star system, where planning, supply lines, and information shape how battles unfold. The game aims for a grounded, methodical style of strategy, with a slower pace that rewards patience, positioning, and long-term thinking. Star Trek Voyager Across the Unknown is built around survival, management, and narrative decision-making aboard a stranded starship. It takes a story-driven approach where leadership, resource pressure, and uncertainty shape how situations unfold. The game aims to convey tension and responsibility through structured systems and branching situations, with each playthrough offering a different path forward.
Hundreds of years after humanity took to the stars, the galaxy became a place.
The trailer gives an early view of how command decisions influence the ship and its crew over time. Stellar Trader is a space simulation built around life, as an independent merchant in a distant future where human trade spans the stars. The game places you in a vast interstellar economy where commerce, conflict, and influence are tightly linked. As a trader, you operate between factions, markets, and power struggles, with a calm, systemic approach that values planning, adaptation, and long-term growth.
Define the galactic future. If you can command the stars,
What will you make of the universe?
Every voyage begins with a plan.
Ahoy is a multiplayer naval game set during the late 18th century, built around cooperative sailing and large-scale sea combat. Players take on roles aboard shared ships, working together to operate vessels, manage crews, and engage with rival captains across the Caribbean. The game aims for a grounded, historical atmosphere, with an approach that reflects life at sea during the age of sail, rather than fast-paced arcade action.
Conquer what others fear. Death and dishonor. Fame and fortune. The life of a sea captain is one of duty and relentless pursuit. True riches are not in gold and jewels, but in the stories we bring back, and the legend we become. We arrive, but never at our final destination. So we chart our next course. We sail. We fight. We endure. For the voyage is life. And life is the voyage.
Anvil Empires is a massively multiplayer strategy game built around large-scale cooperation and conflict. It takes place in a persistent medieval setting where large groups of players work together to create settlements and expand their power through shared effort. The game is built around long-running wars, organized armies, and coordinated construction, giving a sense of scale and continuity across play sessions. Disciples Domination is a dark fantasy RPG built around turn-based combat and kingdom leadership. The game places players in control of a fragile realm where political pressure, military conflict, and internal unrest shape the course of progress. It carries a serious, grounded mood, with a strong focus on control, responsibility, and long-term consequences within a troubled land.
your death. The Liberator reigns!
Kingmakers is a third-person action game that rewrites a medieval conflict through modern intervention. It takes place in large-scale battles where personal combat and command exist side by side. The game aims for a grounded yet chaotic atmosphere, mixing historical warfare with contemporary power. Its pacing and scale suggest a sandbox built around control, disruption, and shifting outcomes. Nova Roma is a city-building game set during the decline of the Roman Empire. It places players in charge of founding and managing a new settlement, balancing civic growth, belief, and resource flow as the population expands. The game aims for a deliberate pace and a grounded atmosphere shaped by management pressure, social needs, and long-term planning. Battlestar Galactica's Scattered Hopes revolves around fleet command and survival under constant pressure. The game is designed around managing a small group of ships while responding to crises and threats that evolve. It carries a serious and restrained atmosphere, with decisions shaping how long the fleet can endure. The general pacing suggests careful planning mixed with tense moments of conflict. Strategos takes place during classical antiquity, built around commanding large armies in historical conflicts. The game aims to recreate ancient warfare through careful positioning, formations, and real-time battlefield decisions. It carries a serious, simulation-driven atmosphere inspired by tabletop war games and military history.
The only way to avoid this catastrophe is to have a new attitude. We must start now.
Espiocracy focuses on espionage and political influence during the Cold War era. Players take the helm of an intelligence agency, shaping events quietly through indirect power rather than open warfare. The game emphasizes long-term planning, information control, and tension driven by unseen actions rather than battlefield clashes.
This is a map of divided Germany, west and east, free and communist.
We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other thing, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
Channel traffic, 8 special missions, 4 air evac, and 2 embassy flights.
In the grim darkness.
Total War Warhammer 40,000 brings large-scale warfare to a far future sci-fi setting. It revolves around commanding powerful factions across a galaxy locked in constant conflict, combining long-term planning with massive real-time battles. The game aims for a heavy, war-driven atmosphere where scale, control, and relentless conflict define the action.
Mankind is beset by endless tides of aliens, traitors, and demons. Across countless worlds, battles rage. Lead your armies. Conquer worlds. Fight on as the galaxy burns. For there is no peace amongst the stars. There is only war.
Thou shalt not kill. So the priests tell us.
Chronicles Medieval is an action and strategy sandbox set in a historical medieval setting. The game places players in large-scale conflicts where personal combat and army command exist side by side. Progress is tied to power, territory, and survival rather than a fixed storyline. The general atmosphere aims to be grounded and serious, with warfare and ambition driving how events unfold.
I became like them. I took up the sword, prayed I could win redemption through my deeds. But some paths, once taken, have only one ending. I shall find no peace. On this road, there is only death. But that's just my story. Go write your own.
It's coming! It's coming!
Frostpunk 1886 is a city builder centered on survival under extreme cold. The game returns to a frozen industrial city where leadership, planning, and social control shape how people endure harsh conditions. It aims for a serious and heavy atmosphere, where managing a struggling society matters as much as keeping the city alive.